Hi there, I'd just like to give you a quick demo of using Google Chrome to print out an A3 size sheet using 2 A4 sheets of paper. Now, in my situation, the reason I need to do this is I have a document or a sheet inside this PDF file, which is comparatively huge compared to the other pages. So this document is massive, way bigger than A3 even. It might even be A2 or A1, I don't know. But what I can do is at least print it out to A3 size without installing any extra software. So all I've got is my printer installed. I don't even believe I'm using printer specific settings. I think these are Windows standard print options. But the trick is I have to do this in Google Chrome because the print options in Microsoft Edge, which is the default for opening up PDF files, they're not good enough. They don't give you all the printing options that you need. So I need to open this up in Google Chrome. So I'm going to right click on this PDF file, open with Google Chrome. And there we are. Get to the correct page. It's down here somewhere. I wish I'd just typed it in somewhere. There we are. Whoa. So you right click on the document and go to print. Word of warning here, try not to press the enter key on your keyboard because that tends to act like the print key in this dialog. So I need to tell it to change to a single page, which happens to be page 260. There you go, it's just popped up. I didn't have to press enter or tab or anything. So there's my current page. Wonderful. I've chosen my printer at the top here. And I'm going to open up more settings. Now, at the bottom of this little list, there is a option that says print using system dialog. You can use a keyboard shortcut to launch it, or you can just click on that text itself. What that does, it gives you the Windows standard print dialog. So there's my printer. And it's from here I tell it to print over 2 pages. So I'm going to go to Preferences, Page Setup. I will be using photo printing really. What I will be doing ultimately is printing this onto glossy paper, photo paper. But for now, as a quick demo, so I'll be going to Page Setup, and we have this section here called Page Layout. Default is normal size. So I'm going to scroll right here and say tiling stroke poster. And then it needs to know kind of what layout you're going to be using. So if I hit specify down here just afterwards, there you go, divided into 2. So let's go OK. So that's the tiling option set. If I go OK here and print, that will print this sheet over 2 pages. As you can see there in the printing dialog, print out over 2 sheets. As you can see here, this is the results from my printer. So we've got the 2 sheets of paper, and among the options on the print settings were options to add some little labels just to help make it obvious which sides of the sheet of paper you need to join together. In fact, there's also some extra marks at the top and at the bottom. My plan really for getting this cut and paste thing, really, my plan would be get a straight edge like a ruler along this long section, lined up with these marks both sides, get a craft knife, a Stanley knife, cut those bits of waste off, and then put some tape on the back. If I reach the side here, you can see that I've also printed this out to some glossy photo paper. Now ultimately laminating might be a better solution if you had a laminator, but I haven't, so I printed out some glossy photo paper, and that looks pretty decent. You can read pretty much all the text, well, depending on the quality of your original document. There's only one snag with the print as I printed it out just now. You'll see that there is a grey background, a coloured background to this document. Now on this one there isn't, and that's because it took about 10 minutes of effort to replace the grey background with a white one. I'll show you how I did that in another video, or an addendum to this video. So I mentioned a little earlier that the background to that document I just printed is grey. And basically if you print it out as is, that will use a lot of ink, or much more ink than you'd want it to anyway. So I'd like to change the background to white. Unfortunately, there's no tool in here in Microsoft Edge to do this. There's no tool in Chrome to do that. I thought once upon a time there was an option in the print settings to replace the background. But it maybe it's Canon specific. In these settings anyway, there's nothing I can find. There is a background button here, but that lets you set a background, an overall background pattern to your print. It's not replacing the current color with something else. I think the background of my current page will still show up on top of this. So we have to find another way, and that other way involves installing Adobe Acrobat Reader. Now I've already installed it, but basically if you haven't got it already, you can get yourself to your search engine of choice, get to a website called get.adobe.com, Adobe Acrobat Reader, and download it. So what will happen there is it'll download a small program, a little stub, a small program. You launch that little program, then it will install, after a bigger download, install the reader itself. I imagine you've used it before if you've used computers in any capacity. So what I'll do this time is open up with Adobe Acrobat. And here we are. Now I want to go to page 260. I haven't quite worked out in Adobe Acrobat how to get it to jump to a specific page straight away. So let's scroll down. Zoom out a little bit as well. There we are. So what I'm going to do with this page is left button click, and that selects a page. You can see if you just click a page, it goes blue. So I'm going to do that to this one. Do a right mouse click on your mouse, right mouse button, and say copy image, the only option available. Then minimize this. Launch Microsoft Paint. Just went to the start menu, typed in Paint. There we go. and you can press paste at the top there. There's my document. Now, if you know Paint at all, this program, you know there's a button called fill, or there's an option called fill that will fill an area with a color. Sounds great. There it is, up there at the top there, called fill. You choose your color, which will be color number 1. Change that to white. And the idea, what I hope would happen, is I click about here somewhere and it changes the entire background to white. Well, unfortunately, that's not what happens. As you can see, because of the wires in my diagram, it actually cuts up the page, splits up the areas. And what I would then have to do is start clicking on all these little individual areas to clean them up. Try not to miss any. And that is what I did. And that actually took me about 20 minutes when I tried that. But I have now since found another option. So let me press undo at the top there a few times, hopefully. That will take it back to its original state. Oh no, I ran out of undos. It won't let me undo anymore. Thanks, Paint. Right, clear the screen, file new, and we'll paste again. So this time, what I'm going to do, somewhat slightly different. First of all, I need to set up the color of the background. I need to tell the software what this color is. So I'm going to go into the color picker tool. Just click on the background, and that sets that to color 1. Color 2 is already correct. I want that to be white. That is what I'm going to be changing the background to. Now normally with your mouse, if you hit the eraser command, rubber, and use a left mouse button, just your normal left button click, it gets rid of everything, which is not good. Let me just press undo. However, if you right mouse button, hold the right key down, you'll see that it only targets color number 1 and replace it with color number 2. So you can potentially remove that entire background. One slight snag: the rubber is very small, and very small rubbers are no good to anybody, especially not me. So what you can also do, if I just press undo again, oh, hopefully more than once, good, is change the size of the rubber and get a bigger rubber. How? Well, on the keyboard you would hold down this combination, which is Control key on the keyboard, Control plus to make it bigger, or Control minus to make it smaller. So let me show you that. I'm just going to press Control plus on my keyboard. Just hold the plus key down. Unfortunately, that's as big as it gets. So with that, you can now use your right mouse button, not the left, and actually start erasing the background color. It will still take quite a while, and you will get wrist ache. I'm used to that as well. But anyway, that's beside the point. So we can get rid of the whole of the background color. To my knowledge, there's no other quicker shortcut really to kind of automatically get rid of all that gray. There's no color replacing tool in this application. You may have Photoshop you know, you may have some other painting or image editing application that will make this much easier. But I just wanted to go with the free software that was built into Windows, other than having to download Adobe Acrobat Reader. So I'm going to persevere with this, and I'll speed up the recording. It's best to kind of go down in rows or go across in columns. If you start going over there all over the place, it looks like you're getting a lot of coverage, but you probably will end up missing bits if you use that approach. Little slivers of the original colour will probably end up being left behind, because the smaller they are, the harder they are to look for. So better to kind of keep it pretty simple. The document, as you saw, was quite a big one. So with a smaller size document, like if it really was A3 or A4 size, yeah, this wouldn't take too long. That's quicker. Just using longer strokes, that's made life quite a bit easier actually. That's better actually. Yeah, I wish I'd done that earlier rather than short strokes with a wrist. Nice long strokes. So the good news after this is, once you've got the background fixed, you don't have to try and put it back into Chrome. You don't have to try and put it back into Adobe Acrobat, because you can access that nice printing dialog, the Windows printing dialog, directly from Microsoft Paint. So you can go to Print, go to your Preferences, Page Setup again, as I did from Chrome. So divided into two sheets. There's a little cut and paste indicators as well. And that'll be ready to rock. So hopefully that helps also. One more tip. If I get rid of this document, I've already printed it out, I don't need to do it again. This is printing out to 2 sheets of A4. Now, since I've got Adobe Acrobat Reader installed now, it has got extensive printing options. So if I actually print from Adobe Reader, again, I couldn't do that earlier because I couldn't change the background color, so I didn't really want to print from here directly. But if I do print, you can see this is a different dialog again. And there's an option there called Poster. Inside there, oh, got to find the right page. Where's that? Current page. There we go. So current page is active. There it is. I've activated Poster. And currently, it's printing out to 100% of the page size. And you can see if I zoom in here, essentially that's going to take up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 21 sheets of A4. To print that at full size. So that's something you could do. You could potentially print that at full size and then tape all these sheets of paper together to get one huge wiring diagram, if it wasn't for the fact that this background would use a lot of ink. But if you had a white background on a document, that'll work quite well for you. Now, if you want to use fewer sheets of paper, what you can do is reduce the tile scale. So for example, if I set that to 75%, again, do not press the enter key because enter will act like you're pressing print. If I just press 75 and then just click onto another window, then you can see now I've got one. In fact, you can click on them to see each individual sheet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 15 sheets. Set this to 30%. There you go, 2 sheets. Or I think I tried 45% just now. Oh, pressed enter. What I'll do, I'll get into there again. I'll cancel the printing. Off you pop. Poster, current page, 45%. You can see that will give you 4 sheets of paper. So with Adobe Acrobat, that'll give you a good set of options to play with in terms of how big you want your prints to be. So I hope you find some of this stuff helpful. Thanks for hanging out with me. Take care. Bye-bye.